Have you ever felt like you were drowning in a sea of stress, while everyone around you remained calm as if nothing was happening? What if I told you that with just 9 simple tips, you could face challenges with confidence and even rise above them? And what if there was an ancient philosophy that could help you find peace in the midst of chaos? Would you like to explore it? Welcome to a journey unlike any other. Have you ever wished you could stay calm and in control, no matter what life throws at you? Have you ever wondered how some people seem to thrive even when everything around them is falling apart? What if the secret isn't something new, but something ancient, quietly powerful, and still just as relevant today? In this video, we're diving into one of the oldest yet most impactful schools of thought in human history, Stoic philosophy. This timeless wisdom isn't just about thinking positively or ignoring emotions. It's about facing life head-on with clarity, strength, and inner peace. And today, we're going to walk through 9 Stoic principles that can completely shift how you respond to the pressures of modern life. Let's be honest, life is full of challenges, stress, failure, loss, uncertainty. They're all part of the human experience. But how you respond to these situations, that's where your true power lies. The Stoics knew this. That's why their teachings have guided emperors, warriors, writers, and thinkers for thousands of years. And today, they can guide you too. These 9 Stoic keys will not only help you stand firm in the face of adversity, they'll give you an edge in a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming. So make sure you stick around until the end, because each principle we discuss will serve as a vital piece in the puzzle of building wisdom, resilience, and serenity. And if this video brings value to your day, please consider subscribing to our channel, giving us a thumbs up, and typing "keep it up" in the comments. It really supports what we do and helps us continue sharing meaningful content with you. Now, let's begin with Lesson 1, and it's probably not what you expect. Lesson 1. Don't talk about challenges, the Stoic secret to turning trials into triumphs. Hey there, fellow seeker of Stoic wisdom. Today, we're diving straight into a principle that might go against everything you've been taught about coping with stress. Ready for it? Don't talk about your challenges. Yes, that's right. I know what you might be thinking. Wait, shouldn't I talk to friends when I'm having a hard time? Isn't expressing my feelings healthy? And sure, those things can absolutely help in moderation. But the Stoics offer us a different path, one that's centered around inner strength, quiet discipline, and radical self-responsibility. It's not about suppression, it's about direction. The Stoic view on challenges for the Stoics. Challenges weren't seen as unfair burdens or something to avoid. They were seen as part of life's natural rhythm, just as normal as the rising sun or a sudden rainstorm. From small annoyances to life-shaking events, hardships were simply expected. But more importantly, how we choose to face them is what defines us. Instead of venting endlessly or dwelling in negativity, the Stoics taught us to redirect that energy toward solutions, toward growth, toward resilience. As the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, what blocks your path is not the end of the road, it is the road. Obstacles aren't meant to stop you. They're invitations to rise, strength in silence. So what does this look like in real life? It means that instead of constantly discussing how hard things are, we take quiet, consistent steps to rise above them. It means embracing a kind of inner strength that doesn't need to be shouted. A strength that's calm, deliberate, and powerful in its silence. Think about it. If you spend an hour complaining about a difficult project at work, does it get any easier? Probably not. In fact, it might feel even heavier afterward. But if you shift your focus to breaking it down into manageable tasks, setting goals, and taking small, clear actions, you don't just make progress. You start building mental endurance and confidence. The power of perspective. The Stoics also emphasized one crucial tool: perspective. When you're deep in a challenge, it's easy to forget the bigger picture. You zoom in so close to the problem that it becomes all you can see. But sometimes, taking just one step back can make all the difference. Imagine you're stuck in traffic after a long, exhausting day. You're frustrated, tired, and tempted to let it ruin your evening. But what if, instead of stewing in irritation, you use that time to breathe, to reflect, or to listen to an inspiring podcast? That simple mental shift could turn an annoying situation into a pocket of unexpected peace. Sometimes, the way you see the problem is the problem. And now, here's your first Stoic challenge. Try embracing the quiet strength. Choose action over complaint. Choose clarity over chaos. You may just discover a version of yourself that's stronger, calmer, and more capable than you ever imagined. Before we move forward, let's take a moment to revisit what we just explored. Real strength isn't loud, it's quiet. It's not in complaining, but in calmly taking action. And now, we turn to another essential Stoic principle that may surprise you with its quiet power. Lesson 2. Don't reveal your secrets. The Stoic art of discretion. Welcome back, Stoic seekers. In this next lesson, we're diving into a concept that, though often overlooked, holds incredible influence over the way we live and relate to others. The power of discretion, the art of keeping your secrets. Now don't worry, this doesn't mean you need to become a mysterious, emotionless figure who never opens up to anyone. Stoicism doesn't ask you to hide behind a wall. What it does ask is for you to be intentional, to be discerning, to understand that not everything needs to be shared with everyone. The Stoic perspective on secrets. The Stoics believed our inner world, our thoughts, dreams, fears, and vulnerabilities is sacred. It's a deeply personal space that deserves respect and protection. And when we share too freely or too quickly, we risk giving others the power to wound us, often unintentionally, and sometimes quite deliberately. As the Stoic philosopher and statesman Seneca once wisely said, "If you want to keep a secret, keep it to yourself." That may sound blunt, but the wisdom behind it is clear. Not everyone you speak to will have your best interests at heart, and even those who do may not understand or handle your truth with the care it deserves. Some of life's most painful betrayals come not from strangers, but from those we once trusted. Protecting your inner sanctuary. Imagine your most private thoughts and dreams as a hidden garden. Lush, quiet, personal. Letting just anyone walk through that space, without invitation or care, can trample what you're nurturing. By holding your secrets close, you create a safe inner sanctuary, a space for clarity, reflection, and authentic self-expression, free from outside judgment or interference. This doesn't mean shutting down emotionally or living in isolation. It means being intentional about who you open up to. It's about building trust, not just offering transparency. When you do share, let it be with those who have earned that place in your life, people who have shown respect, loyalty, and wisdom in return. The strength of self-control in today's world of oversharing and instant exposure, the ability to hold something back, to keep it for yourself, at least for a while, is a powerful form of discipline. It shows self-mastery. Think of it this way. You're working on a personal project you're deeply passionate about. You're excited. The instinct may be to tell everyone, to seek encouragement. But too early, and the opinions start rolling in, doubts, projections, even envy. Suddenly, your once clear vision is muddied by noise. By keeping that idea close, like a flame protected from the wind, you give it space to grow, to take form. And when it's strong enough, you'll know the right moment to share it. The Stoic challenge, mastering the art of discretion. Here's your challenge. Practice discretion, not secrecy out of fear, but wisdom in choosing who gets access to your inner life. Guard your energy, choose your confidants, and above all, learn that some things become more powerful when kept quietly close to the heart. As we continue our journey through Stoic wisdom, the next key will take us even deeper into how we manage our emotions, especially when the world around us feels chaotic or overwhelming. Are you ready to find calm in the storm? Just as we learned in the last lesson, discretion isn't about secrecy, it's about self-respect. By knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, we protect our emotional space, build trust with ourselves, and find greater peace of mind. Now, let's explore how this same quiet strength applies, not only to what we protect, but to how we carry success. Lesson 3. Don't talk about your achievements, the quiet power of humility. Welcome back, Stoic seekers. This next principle may feel a little counterintuitive, especially in a world that encourages us to celebrate everything loudly. But this lesson is about staying grounded, even when you're soaring. Don't talk about your achievements. You might be thinking, wait, shouldn't I celebrate my wins? Isn't it important to share success with my friends and family? And you're right, it's perfectly healthy to feel proud of what you've accomplished. Acknowledging your progress is important, but the Stoics offer a perspective that goes deeper, reminding us that humility is not the absence of pride, it's the presence of perspective. The Stoic view on achievement 2. The Stoics, true fulfillment isn't found in applause, it's found in alignment. They believe that the purpose of achievement isn't to earn praise, but to grow in character, discipline, and virtue. When we constantly talk about our accomplishments, we run the risk of feeding the ego. And with ego comes arrogance, complacency, and often quiet resentment from others. As Stoic teacher Epictetus advised, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. In other words, let your actions do the talking. Let your consistency, your values, and your quiet dedication be what people notice, not your self-promotion. The beauty of humility, think of a devoted gardener, someone who has spent years nurturing a garden. They don't go around boasting. They don't need to. The rich soil, the blooming flowers, the bountiful harvest, those are the proof of their hard work. Your achievements are the same. When you commit to growing, improving, and serving with integrity, people will naturally take notice. They'll feel your energy, see your results, and admire your drive, not because you told them to, but because it shows. Escaping the trap of external validation. We live in a world where recognition feels like currency. Social media encourages us to broadcast our every milestone, each success framed for likes, comments, and fleeting attention. But the Stoics remind us, validation from others is temporary. Confidence from within is lasting. If you tie your worth to outside applause, you'll constantly chase approval. But if you focus inward, on your habits, your growth, your purpose, you'll build a sense of value that no one can give or take away. Imagine the quiet joy of achieving something great and not needing to prove it to anyone. Just you, your growth, and the next step forward. The Stoic challenge: let your actions speak. So here's your next challenge. The next time you accomplish something meaningful, try something different. Instead of posting about it or seeking validation, take a moment, reflect, appreciate the effort you put in, acknowledge your journey silently, and then keep going. Let your continued work, your resilience, and your quiet strength be what people notice most, because real success isn't about the trophies or the standing ovation. It's about showing up every day with purpose, living with integrity, and constantly becoming a better version of yourself. By embracing this Stoic view of humility, you'll not only find deeper fulfillment, but you'll also become a quiet source of inspiration to those around you. And speaking of quiet power, our next lesson dives into one of the most strategic Stoic principles yet: the value of keeping your next move to yourself. Are you ready to learn how silence can become your greatest advantage? In our last lesson, we explored how humility can speak louder than any announcement. Now we shift from what you've done to what you plan to do. And the Stoic wisdom here is just as clear. Move quietly, and let results speak in due time. Lesson 4. The power of strategic silence, keeping your next move. A mystery. What's up, future Stoics? Today, we're entering more strategic territory, one that blends patience, discipline, and just the right touch of mystery. This lesson is all about why the Stoics believed in keeping your next steps to yourself. Think of a chess master. They don't narrate every move before they make it. They plan, they observe, and they act with intention, often in silence. That's the kind of mindset we're aiming for here. The Stoic perspective on future plans. The Stoics were grounded in a powerful truth. Focus only on what you can control. The future, it's uncertain. And while it's natural to get excited about your goals, talking about them too much can bring distractions, pressures, and even resistance you hadn't planned for. As the philosopher Epictetus wisely said, first, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. In other words, don't announce, act. The Stoic way is to take consistent, focused steps toward your vision without making it a performance. Why keep your plans to yourself? There are 3 key reasons the Stoics encouraged keeping future plans private. Protect your focus. When you share your goals too early, you open the door to others' opinions, doubts, and even subtle pressures to meet their expectations. Suddenly, your vision is no longer just yours. It's being shaped by outside voices. By keeping your plans close, you preserve mental clarity and stay laser-focused on what truly matters. Avoid premature satisfaction. Here's a psychological twist. When you talk about your goals, your brain sometimes registers it as if you've already achieved them. That early validation, likes, praise, nods of approval, can trick you into losing the hunger to keep pushing forward. Silence keeps the fire alive. Build self-reliance. Relying too much on feedback and external support can stunt personal growth. When you move in silence, you develop the ability to trust your own judgment, make decisions independently, and own your journey without needing outside validation at every turn. Bringing this to life. Silence in action. Let's bring this principle into the real world. Imagine you're working on a side hustle, something you hope to one day turn into your main career. Sharing your dreams too soon might invite skepticism, unhelpful advice, or even jealousy. But by keeping your work under wraps until it's built on a solid foundation, you guard your vision and give it the space it needs to thrive. Or maybe you're training for a marathon. If you tell everyone too early, you might feel pressured to perform, even if you're not ready yet. But when you keep that training personal, the focus stays on your progress, not people's expectations. The result? Less stress, more growth. 3. Stoic challenge. Embrace strategic silence. Here's your next Stoic challenge. Next time you're tempted to broadcast your plans, pause. Ask yourself, will this help me move forward, or just invite distractions? Will sharing this empower me, or make me reliant on others' approval? Choosing silence isn't about being secretive. It's about being strategic, focused, and self-sufficient. It's about building a quiet space where your dreams can take root and grow, free from noise, doubt, and the need to impress. Let your results speak when they're ready. Until then, keep watering the seeds, quietly and consistently. In the last lesson, we learned how rising above gossip isn't just a matter of ethics, it's a reflection of inner strength and self-discipline. And now, we move from the words we speak about others to the good we do for the world. Here too, the Stoics offer a powerful reminder. The most meaningful kindness doesn't need an audience. Lesson 6. Don't talk about your good deeds. The quiet power of unspoken kindness. Welcome back, Stoic seekers. In this 6th lesson, we're diving into a topic that might feel a bit uncomfortable, especially in today's culture, where sharing every good deed online has become second nature. But today, We're exploring the wisdom in doing good quietly, without needing to announce it. Don't talk about your good deeds. You might ask, but shouldn't I share my acts of kindness to inspire others? Isn't it okay to feel good when I help someone? Yes, absolutely. It's natural to feel fulfilled when you make a positive impact. But the Stoics offer a powerful distinction. Virtue is about doing what's right, not being seen doing it. The Stoic perspective on good deeds. The Stoics believe that real virtue lies in doing good simply because it's the right thing to do, not for applause, praise, or public approval. They understood that when we boast about our good deeds, it can lead to unintended consequences, arrogance, self-righteousness, or even undermining the very spirit of generosity. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca so eloquently put it, the reward for a good deed is to have done it. And that's the heart of it. The act itself is the reward. You don't need to be validated by others to know you've done something meaningful. The internal satisfaction, the quiet alignment with your values, that's where true fulfillment lives. The beauty of unspoken kindness picture, a gentle stream winding through a forest. It nourishes the trees, the animals, the soil, quietly, without asking for attention. It doesn't shout about the life it gives, but its presence is deeply felt by everything it touches. Your kindness can be like that stream. When you extend a hand to someone in need, offer your time, your patience, your resources, without looking for recognition, your actions become a quiet testament to who you are. People will notice your compassion, not because you told them, but because they felt it. The trap of external validation. We live in a world where sharing is celebrated. Social media feeds overflow with good deeds, from donations to volunteer hours, random acts of kindness turned into viral content. And while intentions may be good, it's easy to get caught in the trap. Are we doing good to serve, or to be seen serving? The Stoics would urge us to pause here. They believed that the most meaningful virtue grows from internal motivation, not the short-lived approval of an online audience. When you do something kind for its own sake, you nurture authentic compassion. You give without expecting anything in return. And in that quiet act, you grow closer to a life of true Stoic virtue. The Stoic challenge: let your actions shine without words. So here's your challenge. The next time you do something good, whether it's helping a stranger, donating, volunteering, or simply offering someone a listening ear, resist the urge to share it publicly. Instead, take a breath, soak in the quiet satisfaction of knowing you made a difference. Let your integrity shine through your actions, not your words. Because in the end, true virtue doesn't seek the spotlight. It lives in everyday choices, done with compassion, humility, and purpose. A quiet force for good in a noisy world. In our last lesson, we explored how silent acts of kindness can shape the world and ourselves in the most meaningful ways. Now, we shift focus inward once again, turning our attention to one of the most personal aspects of self-preservation: how we handle our own vulnerabilities. Lesson 7. The Stoic Shield: guarding your weaknesses, building inner strength. What's up, Stoic warriors? Lesson 7 invites us into a space that can feel a bit uncomfortable, but it's also incredibly powerful. Today, we're talking about something that might seem to go against modern advice. Don't speak of your weaknesses. Now, that might raise an eyebrow. We live in a world where vulnerability is often praised as a strength, and in many ways, it is. But the Stoics offer a nuanced and strategic perspective, one that values self-awareness, resilience, and emotional intelligence, but also understands the importance of protecting your inner landscape. The Stoic view on weaknesses. The Stoics recognized a crucial truth. While acknowledging our flaws is essential for personal growth, broadcasting our vulnerabilities can leave us open to manipulation, judgment, or even harm. There's a difference between healthy self-reflection and unnecessary exposure. As Seneca, the wise Stoic philosopher, once said, The person who reveals their weaknesses to the world is like a city without walls. In other words, boundaries matter. Your internal struggles deserve attention and care, but not necessarily public display. Flaws versus weaknesses, a subtle but important distinction. Before we go deeper, let's make a clear distinction. Flaws are imperfections in our character, habits, attitudes, or behaviors that we can recognize and refine. Admitting these is part of self-improvement. Weaknesses, however, are emotional or psychological vulnerabilities. These are the soft spots in your armor, things that can be triggered, exploited, or used against you. Think of the difference this way. Acknowledging that you procrastinate is confronting a flaw. Sharing that you're emotionally dependent on others' approval, that's a vulnerability that, in the wrong hands, could be turned into a weapon. The power of silent strength. The Stoics believed that true strength comes not from announcing your struggles, but from working quietly and diligently to overcome them. Imagine this. You know that stress often gets the better of you. If you share this openly at work, others, intentionally or not, may start giving you more pressure or undermining your confidence. But if, instead, you privately develop stress management techniques, build emotional endurance, and refine your response under pressure, you gain strength without exposing the soft spots. You become like a fortress, solid on the outside, constantly reinforced from within. The Stoic challenge. Turn weaknesses into strengths. Here's your next Stoic challenge. Don't deny your weaknesses, but don't advertise them either. Instead, turn inward. Identify those vulnerable places, not to fear them, but to understand them. Use that awareness to quietly build strength, develop strategies, and grow from within. Let your transformation speak for itself, not through confession, but through action. Because true strength isn't found in pity or praise. It's built in solitude, sustained by discipline, and revealed through resilience. By guarding your weaknesses, you not only protect your emotional well-being, but you also cultivate a deep, quiet confidence that no one can shake. And speaking of quiet confidence, our next lesson will take us to a place even more intimate, your dreams. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do for a dream is keep it safe in your heart. Shall we dive in? In the last lesson, we uncovered the quiet power of protecting your weaknesses, not to hide, but to build strength in silence. Now, we turn our attention to something just as fragile and just as sacred, your dreams. Dreams are the seeds of our future, and the Stoics believe that the best way to protect them is to keep them quietly close to your heart. Lesson 8. The unspoken dream. Nurturing your aspirations in the quiet of your heart. What's up, dreamers and visionaries? Today's Stoic key is about something deeply personal. Your hopes, your longings, your biggest visions for your life. This lesson is all about why it's often wiser to keep your dreams private, at least until they're strong enough to stand on their own. You might be wondering, but doesn't sharing my dreams help me stay motivated? Won't I be more accountable? And sure, there is value in sharing with the right people, trusted mentors, close friends, those who uplift you. But the Stoics taught us something deeper, that a dream grows best in silence, protected from the noise of outside opinions. The Stoic take on dreams for the Stoics. Everything circles back to one core idea. Focus on what's within your control. While dreams are beautiful and inspiring, they are also tender and undeveloped. Sharing them too soon can expose them to skepticism, unsolicited advice, or even envy, all of which can plant seeds of doubt. As Seneca wisely said, the greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. Dreams, by nature, pull us into the future. But the Stoics believed in living fully in the present, taking action today rather than becoming lost in fantasy. And part of that action is protecting what matters most, your inner vision. Why keep your dreams secret? Here are 3 key reasons the Stoics encouraged keeping your dreams to yourself. Protect your vulnerability. Your dreams are often reflections of your truest self. They're intertwined with identity, purpose, and emotion. Sharing them freely can leave you feeling exposed, especially if the reactions you receive aren't what you hoped for. By keeping them private, you create a safe space for them to evolve, far from judgment or doubt. Maintain intrinsic motivation. The Stoics believed that real motivation should come from within, not from applause. When we talk about our dreams, it's easy to become distracted by praise or approval. We begin chasing recognition instead of passion. Silence keeps you grounded in why you started. Cultivate patience and resilience. Big dreams take time, sometimes a very long time. And when you share them too early, you risk setting expectations or timelines that don't reflect the slow, steady nature of true growth. Keeping them to yourself allows you to focus on the process, celebrating small wins and weathering setbacks without external pressure. Real-life examples. The power of the unspoken. Dream, let's bring this into reality. Picture someone quietly planning a non-profit to support underserved communities. It's their heart's calling. But if they share this too early, they might be met with doubt. That's too ambitious, or how will you fund it? These voices, even well-meaning, can cloud vision and weaken drive. But by laying the groundwork in silence, they protect the dream's momentum until it's ready to be seen. Or imagine an aspiring artist pouring hours into a new creative project. If they post their early sketches online, they might face premature judgment, criticism that dampens their confidence before their vision is fully formed. But by nurturing their voice in solitude, they give it time to mature, refine, and become something truly unique. The Stoic challenge: nurture your dreams in silence. Here's your challenge. The next time your heart races with excitement over a new idea or ambition, pause. Ask yourself, will sharing this help it grow or expose it too soon? Will it empower me or pull me into the noise of outside expectations? Keeping your dreams quiet isn't about shame or secrecy. It's about sacred space. It's about creating the conditions for your aspirations to take root and blossom, protected, nourished, and unpressured. Because when you trust your own inner compass and give your dreams time, they'll grow stronger than you ever imagined, and you'll be ready when it's time to share them with the world. In the previous lesson, we explored the quiet, sacred space where dreams grow best, protected from noise, pressure, and judgment. Now we arrive at the heart of Stoic stillness, solitude, not loneliness, but intentional, nourishing time alone, a space where true strength is quietly built. Lesson 9. The Sanctuary of Solitude, Embracing the Quiet Strength. Within, hello again, solitude seekers. In this final lesson, we're diving into one of the most misunderstood sources of power in our modern world, solitude. In a society that values constant connection, non-stop interaction, and digital noise, choosing time alone is often seen as strange, or even sad. But the Stoics saw it differently. To them, solitude was not an absence, but a presence, a place where clarity blooms, the mind quiets, and the soul breathes. The Stoic embrace of solitude. The Stoics understood something essential. Self-discovery and peace don't thrive in chaos. They emerge in stillness. When we step away from distractions, from the constant chatter of others, we create room to reflect on our values, question our fears, and reconnect with the person beneath all the noise. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher and statesman, said it best. Loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is the richness of self. Solitude isn't about shutting the world out. It's about tuning into the world within, your thoughts, your intentions, your sense of direction. It's about learning to enjoy your own company and trusting the wisdom that surfaces when everything else fades into quiet. Why keep your solitude sacred? Here are a few reasons the Stoics believed solitude should be kept private and protected. Protect your inner sanctuary. Moments of solitude are like sacred rituals. They offer rare, undisturbed access to your inner world. But sharing these personal spaces too freely can dilute their power or open them to outside judgment. By keeping your solitude sacred, you preserve a haven for reflection, healing, and realignment. Avoid misinterpretation. Let's face it, not everyone understands the beauty of solitude. Some might mistake it for loneliness, reclusiveness, or emotional withdrawal. By keeping your solitary practices to yourself, you avoid having to explain or defend what needs no defense. You protect the integrity of your own journey. Cultivate self-reliance. In solitude, we learn to find comfort, insight, and motivation from within. We stop depending on others for validation or distraction. When shared too often, these moments risk being shaped by others' reactions, subtly eroding the very self-trust that solitude is meant to strengthen. Real-life examples. The power of silent solitude. Let's bring this Stoic wisdom into everyday life. Imagine you have a daily meditation practice that helps you stay centered. It's quiet, personal, powerful. But when you start sharing it with others, you might find yourself fielding questions, suggestions, or even skepticism. That sacred space begins to shift. By keeping it private, you allow it to retain its original purpose: clarity, stillness, and transformation. Or maybe you take long walks alone in nature. No music, no talking, just you, the path, and your thoughts. These walks help you reset and recharge. But when others ask to join, the silence breaks, the magic slips away. By guarding these moments, you protect your creativity, your calm, and your sense of flow. The Stoic challenge: embrace the richness of solitude. So here's the challenge: carve out time for solitude and treat it like a sacred ritual. Whether it's journaling, meditating, walking alone, or simply sitting in quiet reflection, make it a non-negotiable part of your life. Remember, solitude isn't about isolation. It's about returning to yourself. It's about creating space to hear your own voice, to nurture your inner compass, and to grow your roots deeper with each silent moment. When you honor solitude, you build a foundation of resilience, creativity, and calm, qualities that will strengthen you in every aspect of life. Final words: your Stoic journey begins now. Thank you for walking through this journey with me. The 9 Stoic keys to outsmarting everyone else. Not through noise, but through depth. Remember, wisdom isn't found in likes, status, or external validation. It comes from within, from the strength to act with purpose, the discipline to stay centered, and the courage to choose silence when others shout. By embracing these Stoic principles, you'll navigate challenges with clarity, grow in resilience, and tap into a deeper well of peace, fulfillment, and confidence. So keep practicing, keep reflecting, and most importantly, keep shining your Stoic light.